Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Future Ruins, and my name is Jimmy, in case I never told you guys, but yep, Future Ruins is just a name I came up with. There's a Borknagar song on the Quintessence album called Ruins of the Future. Future Ruins, just something I came up with. Kind of my idea for what everything is going to be at some point. Anyway, Friday night, just chilling out, having me a tasty Tommy Knockers beverage. Yep, it's an IPA. All you fucking pussies that don't like IPA. I don't know, it's just my beer choice, so cheers, man. Hope you guys are having a great night. Figured it's been a little while since I've done any kind of just new stuff, collection update kind of deal, so figured I'd bang one out before I jump on the live stream that is just started, it looks like. So I'm sure all you guys know about the live streams that have been happening every Friday night. Really killer with all the great YouTubers, and just doing a great job of just collaborating. And I still don't get how these guys go for freaking 8 hours all goddamn night. I try to catch like the first couple hours and have to catch up on the live stream later because it's just I just can't stay up that late. But yeah, cheers, you guys. Thank you for including me on. I was on one of the streams about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was really killer with Marty and all the guys. And I thought I did pretty good. I don't know. Kind of not really that great when it comes to being put on the spot, so I started to kind of get a little nervous or whatever, and feeling like I need to talk more than I should be. And, having a buzz probably doesn't help that, but either way, man. Really killer. Support all these guys. Support the streams. Hopefully they're going to keep it going. Maybe I'll pop on one of them again if they'll have me again. So we'll see. Anyway, yeah. So starting to get warm, man. I don't even need this hoodie anymore, but ready to start hiking for sure pretty soon. Just got the stay at home has been lifted, so gonna start trying to get out the house a little bit more. Definitely feeling the cabin fever. Just from sitting down here in the lair and working every day, but definitely jamming a lot of tunes, jamming a lot of new stuff, and everybody's been kind of posting like, I did the video about all the meaningful albums from my high school years, and everybody's been kind of dipping into that. And along with that and the live streams, I've just been going back and trying to check out music I kind of missed out on. So right now we're listening to Creator, Extreme Aggressive Measures. That's sinister. Extreme Aggression. Yeah. So, I've always dug Creator. I've seen Creator a couple times, and they always killed it live. And I don't know. I just never really was a thrash fan. Of course, when I was younger, definitely, like all the stuff that was coming out, like Megadeth and the obvious stuff for sure. But I kind of quickly went on to death metal and then went on to other things, and I kind of just, strayed away from the whole thrash thing for some reason. But based off Marty's video he did, and he was just really, really talking up this album. To be honest with you, I'd never even really listened to it. I was only really more familiar with Terrible Certainty. And upon listening to this is a better album than that. But yeah, so I picked up this digipack. It's kind of like a 2 CD set. I think this is the reissue that they did the 3 LP on. The CD's fine for me. The album's on side one, disc 1, and the second disc has a live set from Berlin in 1990, which I'm looking forward to listening to. But Marty talked about this so much, I had to pick it up. I ended up going to, I don't know if you guys ever use Deep Discount, but it's not really a discount because the CDs are usually a little bit more expensive. But, for us in the US, you can usually find things that are a little bit harder to find up there, imports and whatnot. I don't know if this is an import or not. But, yeah, man, I'm really digging this so far. And just kind of digging back to all this thrash shit, I definitely missed out on a lot, in terms of older Creator. There was, Sodom, a band I never even really paid attention to. Got some of those coming along the way, like the older records. So looking forward to checking some of that stuff out. Anyway, yeah. Creator. All right, so let's just go through this pile. I've just got a bunch of CDs, tapes, vinyl stuff. Keeping in spirit of this whole thrash thing, there's another record that Marty was talking about like crazy, was this Holy Terror band, who I had never even heard of. And I don't know how I missed out on this, but this is a 2 CD set as well, with the 2 Holy Terror records, Terror and Submission and Mind Wars, which is the one Marty was talking about. And he talked the hell out of this band and how amazing it was. And so I went and just checked out the YouTube full stream of the Mind Wars album and was instantly freaking blown away. Like, it was like, how the hell? I mean, I haven't heard anybody ever talk about this band whatsoever. And until Marty talked about it. But Mind Wars, yeah, man, just again, I'm still trying to find this newfound taste for thrash metal, and this really just kind of blew my mind at just the instrumental prowess of the music, the drumming, the just the songwriting, and the vocals are really killer. A lot of fun. So this 2 CD set is really cool. This was released by Candlelight and has a really nice booklet with all kinds of liner notes and whatnot. Fortunately, this band ended pretty early on. Only released those 2 records, and I think one of the guys in the band died, the singer or one of those guys. But still gonna have to go back and listen to the first one, Terror and Submission. I haven't really got around to that yet. But the Mind Wars. Oops, there's my cassette tapes. Everybody, every time they show a cassette tape, they either drop it or the thing slips out. Well, it just fell on the table, but I had to have that happen at some point, right? So anyway, this is, I still need to kind of delve into this more because I've only given Mind Wars a couple listens, but have not listened to the first record yet. But wow, man, this is some mind-blowing stuff. Instrumentation, composition of the songs. Just really killer, just awesome guitar work and solos and whatnot. Holy Terror. So thank you, Marty, for the recommendation on this record. Got lucky and happened to found this on Discogs from, I don't even know who it was. Seems like it's a little hard to find. Didn't actually jump on the vinyl. I think the vinyl is available on Hell's Headbangers. So, definitely check this out. If you're a thrash guy, you probably already know this. This is like new for me. So killer stuff, man. Alright, so kind of moving on, keep on CDs. This next one I got actually probably a couple months ago, but this is the new Earth and Pillars record. Earth and Pillars, band from, I believe, Spain? Or are they from Italy? I think Spain. This came out on Avant-Garde Records. It's the A5 Digipack version of this, and managed to find this actually at a record store before all this COVID nonsense. And I had their previous release. This one's called Earth 2. I think the last one was called Pillars. Whereas this is like a more like autumnal, earthy kind of artwork. The previous record was more of a wintry, like snow, covered mountainous landscape. This kind of stuff is like for sure like definitely up my alley. I feel like it's labeled as atmospheric black metal, which is a term that's starting to get a little ridiculous at this point. But I don't know, this band hasn't really clicked with me yet. Because I look at this and I feel like, man, this is just screaming my name. But and it is good, really good so far. It just hasn't really quite clicked with me yet. Every album these guys do, it seems like it's like 4 songs, and every song is like 15 minutes long, whatever. Just big giant epics. And the music is really quite expansive, just huge layers and layers of soundscapes and guitar and keyboard or whatever, with a very earthy, atmospheric black metal vibe, which usually does it for me. And, don't get me wrong, I do like this. I feel like you really have to kind of be in the mood for this sort of thing, because this band, I mean, like the music, like instantly when it starts, you're like, wow, this is really great, and then they just really stick to the same thing throughout the song, you know, and they kind of weave it and they kind of build it, which is cool. That, you know, when it comes to that kind of approach to composition in these kind of songs, like you really have to be good on that. And I'll always go back to that last Nasheim record, which I thought does that sort of thing brilliantly, just taking those ideas and weaving them in and out, building. You know, and this kind of does that, but it just, I get to the point where I'm kind of just exhausted with it. You know, it just, because it's just the same freaking thing over and over again for 15 minutes or whatever it is. But I don't know. Maybe I just haven't really felt the right mindset, the right. That artwork is just so killer though, man. I really love it. I don't know where the song was taken, but it comes out with a nice. I don't really like these A5 digipacks because they're kind of hard to follow away, but very nice job that they do on the packaging on this. You know, sometimes I feel like it's like I end up buying records because I like the artwork and the concept so much better than the music. But look at that, really beautiful job. So I don't know, I'm gonna need to let this one kind of sink in a little bit more. And I felt that way about the last record. I don't know, it just, first I think I really like it, and then I kind of just, you know, feels like it hasn't really pushed all those buttons that I really want from an atmospheric black metal record. So, but yeah, Earth and Pillars. I'll sit on this one, and hopefully at some point maybe it'll click a little bit more with me. Yeah. So talked way too long about this one. All right. So a couple more CDs. This is really cool. I found this before the whole COVID thing, and so we've got some really great record stores up in Denver. I live in Colorado Springs, which is about an hour south of Denver, but I usually go up there for work once a week before all this COVID nonsense. But hit the record stores over there, browse the used section, hopefully find a gem here and there. Every now and then I do. And there's a store called Angelo's. There's 2 locations in Denver, Angelo's Records, and they always have a good metal selection. But this one I've been looking for, I guess I've been looking for it a while, and just happened to come across it, Demo Border, Stormblast, Epic Glare. Now, I paid way too much for this, and having looked on Discogs, I probably could have got this a lot cheaper, because Angelo wanted $25 for this. And obviously, this is not an OG press. I think this is the Icarus pressing, but it's not the new recording that they did, which I haven't even really listened to. But so Demo Border, I love Demo Border, and you know, they kind of get a bad rap because they went on from you know, as many black metal bands, any black metal band that ends up going to a more kind of bigger audience or commercial sound or whatever you want to call it, gets the bad rap. I don't give a shit, man. You know, as long, like, if it sounds good, if I like it, cool. I don't really care if they got really big or not. Personally, you know, Demo Border is a big band for me. From the early days, you know, the early 2000s when they really kind of struck it big, was, you know, doing you know, I was more of a fan of the later day Demo Border, you know, with Spiritual Black Dimensions was the first record I ever heard by these guys. And, you know, my instant draw to that record was Vortex's vocals, really kind of drew me in. And then they dropped Puritanical, Euphoric, Misanthropia, which I think that was the record that really kind of broke them into the more mainstream rather than underground. And that record fucking kicked ass. I loved it. I still do. One of the big reasons I love that record is because Nick Barker, his drums. The drumming is just so monstrous on that. But thought the songs were well written. They were kind of like a powerhouse at that point with Vortex on bass and clean vocals and just kind of really awesome. And then they followed it up with Death Cult Armageddon, which loved as well. Fucking great. Went on to do a couple more, which I was not as much into. In Sorte Diaboli, I didn't really like. Felt it, I don't know, it was just a little too building on their sort of commercial success with Hellhammer and drums, and it didn't really work for me. But then went on to do Abrahadabra. I'm not even familiar with that one. And then just recently the new record Eonian, which I really, really dig. You know, again, it's building on their whole kind of commercial sound, but fuck it, I don't really care. To me, it sounds awesome. There's some really good songs on there. There's some songs that are not as good, but anyway, you know, talking about Dimmu, I mean, Stormblast, I mean, I knew some of these songs, but kind of regarded as one of their more classics. Really trying to go back and get some of their older records. The debut, I don't have. Enthroned in Darkness Triumphant, I don't have that one as well, which is good. But Stormblast, this is an interesting one. Not one that I really knew very well back in the day. This is kind of going back and revisiting this album. And it's very cool to see like where they came from. You know, this is really probably one of the records that was going to solidify that they were going for that sort of symphonic, melodic black metal sort of sound. Yeah, I mean, true as a cult? No, like I said, I don't give a shit. Sounds good, and so far, man, I've been really digging this one. It's, you know, the production is a little wonky, and it's a very distinct difference between like the heavier parts of it versus the symphonic, you know, which there's not really. It's not like they have a symphony playing. It's more just like keyboards, but really fun to go back to this stuff. So I don't know, I'm digging it. But like I said, I paid like Angelo wanted $25 for this, and I was not gonna go for it. But one of the cool things about this record store is like they have a punch card. So like every time you buy something, you get a punch, and when you get like 14 purchases, you get like a free item. And I just so happened to have a punch card that was full. I was buying like a couple other things, so I kind of like got this for free. I kind of like got around it. So otherwise, I probably would have waited and just found a cheaper copy at Discogs. So Angelo can kind of be a little goofy when it comes to some of these harder to find. You know, I don't think this was worth $25, but whatever. I'm glad to have a copy of it. I've never heard the re-recording, and I've heard everybody say it sucks. So anyway, yeah, good shit. Next up, okay, this is another band that's I sort of missed out on, just like so many other bands. And this is the cool thing about watching all these YouTubers is, the last couple of years I've been more focused on new stuff. And now I'm kind of in a different mindset, like going back and trying to find the stuff that I never heard of or didn't give a chance. But this band, these albums just got re-released, is the Internists. And these are the first two Eternus records. Both of these, for a while, they were pretty hard to find, I think, to find a good copy. And as soon as I started to hear about, or just like read about that, I think Marty did a video on this band and was talking it up. And God, just yet another band I missed. So, Internists from Norway. And as soon as I started to check this out and realized that it was kind of hard to find, then all of a sudden it gets a repress, both these records. But, so, Norwegian sort of dark, I guess I would classify it as dark metal. It's not necessarily black metal, but has those black metal elements, but more of a, you know, in listening to this stuff, it definitely kind of stands on its own in a way. And I know this band has kind of gone on to do some other records that I've not heard yet. And I plan on going to check some of them out. Between this one is called Beyond the Wandering Moon, and the second one, And So the Night Became. Haven't listened to this one as much as this one so far, but I still need to kind of delve into the second record. But these are available on Hell's Headbangers on CD. I think it's still on vinyl. Didn't want to get the vinyl. They're all two LP sets, which I usually don't like to buy 2 LP sets unless it's something I really, really love. Because I hate flipping records. But yeah, man. Wow, this is awesome shit. It definitely has. I mean, it would have been recorded in like late '90s or something like that. Really fantastic. Just sort of deaf vocals, but very melodic and brooding, sort of blackish, dark kind of metal that stands on its own and has some interesting sort of instruments. There's a harp solo at the end of it, and very, very cool. Really having fun just kind of discovering stuff like this. So yeah, go grab these while they're hot because they'll probably sell out. All right, so on to the. All right, so I got a few tapes from Out of Season label. If you're not familiar with Out of Season label, they mostly specialize in dungeon synth or dark ambient music. The term dungeon synth gets thrown around quite a bit with all this kind of stuff, and I don't really feel like that term really represents some of these bands, but whatever. Out of Season, they are killing it with a lot of these newer dungeon synth bands. And the cool thing about Out of Season, they kind of started out with like cassette tape releases, and I kind of find that to be a cool format for this kind of music because it kind of just, I've always talked about cassette tapes are kind of like a nostalgia thing for me, and it comes to like this sort of older, archaic sounding music. It could be almost like video game music or something like that. Works really well in this format, cheap, and I really like the job that Out of Season does. So, but starting with this new Thief 5. Thief is a very, very cool. I mean, they get labeled as dungeon synth, but to me, this is very much just like medieval harp music or something like that. It's like the type of music that you would hear when you listen to it. It kind of brings you into this, like you're in the castle in the court of the king, and the minstrel is playing his music for the king, for the court, or something like that. Not dark whatsoever. Definitely fantastical, but Thief, they have quite a few releases under their belt, and one of the releases that Out of Season had before this new one was their first 4 on a 2 CD set, which I've got, and it's just really, really long, a lot of music, but one of the things I find about these dungeon synth bands is a lot of it just kind of blends together. You really, really have to dig to find the really good stuff, but this is very, very good stuff. And, I've read that, so there's a few dungeon synth projects. There's Sequestered Keep, Thangorodrim, and this band Thief. I've read online that all 3 of these projects are the same guy. And it kind of makes sense because it does kind of sound similar. I would say out of the 3, Sequestered Keep is probably my favorite, but it's Thief stuff, like I said, it's more like just like medieval harp music, whereas Thangorodrim is kind of like Tolkien-inspired, darker sort of dungeon synth, and then Sequestered Keep is kind of almost like a melding of those two. And I find that Sequestered Keep stuff is the best, but this guy is very good compositionally, and highly recommend it if you're into that sort of thing. You know, for me, dungeon synth is just kind of a background music kind of thing. When I work, I don't have to pay attention, I can just have it on in the background. Kind of fits. Yeah, the Thief is very good stuff. These are still available. A lot of the out-of-season stuff sells out pretty quickly, but they've been doing a good job of keeping things in stock. All right, so the last thing I got from Out of Season is, this is actually a reissue of the Finnish project, Japatit. 2 tapes. This stuff came out like in the late 90s, I think, and this is not dungeon synth. I would consider it more of just like dark ambient music, dark nature-inspired kind of ambience. So these are the first 2 Japartit demos. This one, I'm not going to try and pronounce the titles, but this is probably my favorite one. I think that this is actually the first one. Sort of a white pro tape. Very, very good. Very just well composed. Again, you know, when it comes to dark ambient, dungeon synth, a lot of stuff, you know, can sound really good at first, but then, you know, you start to pay attention to the compositional skills of these guys that are tooting on a keyboard. Some of them are really good and some of them are really not. You know, this is the other demo. Very cool. Glad to have these. I remember hearing this band way back and just liking that vibe, liking that ambient sort of thing. You know, there's a place for this in my listening habits for sure. It's kind of a black pro tape. Very cool. These are definitely still available as well. Yeah, out of season. Support them. I mean, if you like this kind of stuff, they've always got, you know, their own releases as well as stuff that is kind of hard to find in the States. They'll get copies and you can jump on all that. So, all right, on to the vinyl. Starting with the Cirrus banger. This is the new Mayhem, Damon. So Mayhem, not a band that I've ever really been a huge fan of, but you know, of course, classic. Enjoyed De Mysterious for sure. Such a weird, awesome, crazy black metal album. And the only other album that I ever really got into with this band was Grand Declaration of War. I think that's kind of one of the more love or hate it kind of record. Personally, I thought it was awesome. I thought the riffs were really killer on that. There was some weird experimentation on the album that kind of threw people kind of off, especially if you're black metal true elite. But yeah, you know, so I really dug that one. And then Maniac leaves the band, and Attila comes in as the vocalist, and they went on to do Chimera, which I didn't really pay too much attention to, and I kind of just lost, you know, for whatever reason, I just lost any kind of interest in these guys. You know, I was kind of just felt like they were really hyped up, you know. But and then all of a sudden, here we are in last year, 2019, they released this beast. I just kind of happened to listen to a couple tracks and thought, wow, this is like, kind of sounds like De Mysterious, but like, you know, today, you know, more modernized version of it or something. Didn't expect to really like it, but I mean, goddamn, I just listened to a couple tracks and just, I gotta pick this up. It just sounds killer, and you know, this guy that they've got writing, doing, you know, the guitar player Telok, I think his name is. Wow, this guy's a really good songwriter. This album, I mean, it's kind of what you would expect out of Mayhem. You know, dark, evil, twisted, just really warped sounding songs with Attila's crazy ass vocals, but with a very good production. And just the songwriting, like I said, is just very, very, you know, it's got sort of a, I don't want to say like a mainstream appeal, but it's like easy to listen. It's like easy to listen to, you know, and but doesn't sacrifice, you know, the sort of vibe that you expect out of Mayhem. Kind of feeling the really twisted, evil sound they've got going on. Guys, I mean, dude, this album is fucking awesome, and it's really kind of prompted me to want to go back to the last few records that I missed out on. I haven't listened to anything since Grand Declaration of War. Yeah, this is the indie exclusive pressing. It's like a yellow kind of vinyl. And yeah, I can't talk this up enough. Really, really awesome shit, man. You know, if you were ever a fan of Mayhem, I don't know, maybe you won't like this because it's not as like, you know, I feel like it still retains that sort of cultish feel, but with a modern production. And Hellhammer's drums finally sound really, really good on this. So, yeah. mayhem. Binderoon just released a bunch of new stuff, and starting with this Panopticon Panopticon split, which great job, guys. Beautiful job on the vinyl pressing, just kind of like a fire kind of melt feel. Panopticon, one of my favorite bands, can do no wrong. It's cool to hear them doing more of a traditional kind of metal style on some of this stuff, and still retaining their folkish sort of influences and acoustic stuff. But it's definitely a little more metal on here. It's cool to hear. It really just makes me excited to hear the next full length. Can't wait. What can you say about the Panopticon? It's absolutely amazing. The Panopticon track on here is wow. Very emotional, very definitely have to sort of be in the mood for it, because especially if you knew what Austin went through to write that song. But the one thing I want to say about it is the drumming. I mean, he's always been an amazing drummer, amazing everything, every freaking instrument. But goddamn, the drumming on this is just so good. Produced really well, and there's a drum solo like toward the end of the track that is just so freaking awesome, crushing, and just amazing drum fill kind of deal that he does. And wow, just amazing. But yeah, great split, guys. Can't wait for the next two full lengths for those bands. Next one was the Panopticon and Aerial Ruin split. Really great. I love the Aerial Ruin. Nice pressing, clear, splatter kind of deal. I like Aerial Ruin. The guy sings on a lot of the Bell Witch stuff. I'm a huge fan, and it's cool to hear his music here. Beautiful folk kind of vibe to it. Great juxtaposition to the heavy shit that I want to listen to. Just put this on and just kind of dream away with the folk country kind of styles that's going on here. I haven't listened to the Panopticon side as much yet. I know that he's got some covers on there, and I didn't instantly love it as much as his Scars of Man Part 2, where he really focused on that kind of sound. But guy just shits on music and just blows my mind. And then thirdly, Subsidian Tongue, man. God damn, this is so good. I've never even heard this band. You know, whenever Binderoon releases something, I'll just jump on it because I know I'm probably going to love it. And man, this makes me excited to go back and listen to. I know that they have a couple other records before this, but absolutely deserving of the Binderoon, label, and putting these guys on there. I don't know how to describe this. It's just another, sort of atmospheric black metal band, sort of in the vein of, but definitely maybe like Falls or Rars or something. Same drummer, but it definitely kind of stands on its own, has its own kind of sound to it. I really, really dig. It's starting to get kind of blurry here, but absolutely beautiful release. Really, really loving this. I've listened to this a whole lot, and don't really have the words to describe it, but if you're into binary bands, do not miss this. Fantastic. All right. Speed a little bit more, kind of through, man. Next up, Utratum, or whatever. Had this on cassette tape and been trying to find it for a while. I had found a cheap copy of their cassette, and now all of a sudden Hell's Headbangers has these available. So go jump on these when you get a chance. They'll probably sell out pretty quickly, but what to say, man. Killer, awesome old school death metal in the Swedish vein, sort of Entombed, Dismember, Unleashed, Asphyx, all those things kind of melded together with great songwriting, great artwork. Everything's, I guess these guys are Quebecois, but it's, because everything is in French. Absolutely love this record, really. I mean, I like the previous one maybe even more than this, but glad to have a vinyl copy of this. Love it, man. Look, Entombed, Dismember fans, all that kind of stuff, don't miss this. Awesome. The debut Obsequiae just got repressed on $20 spin. Fantastic. Wasn't familiar with this one. I love everything Obsequiae does, but good to go back and listen to kind of where he came from and roots. Very cool pressing. I like the job they did with the artwork. It's a little different than what it originally was, but just got this and need to listen to it a little bit more, but it's no surprise. I mean, some Sakurai, everything they do is amazing. So, all right, got one more, and this kind of comes out to, you know, again, listening to everybody's favorite records, things that influence you, like when you were young. And this record certainly did for me. I originally only had this on cassette tape. Still got it, but had a hard time finding a good copy of it, just an original copy whatsoever. But recently repressed, Sinisters Cross the Sticks. This was repressed on Cosmic Key Creations, who this is the first time I've bought from them. They're a European distributor. Been doing a lot of represses lately, and this debut Sinister, they went on to do some really great stuff, but you know, they never topped this. And I think it's because the guy that played guitar and wrote most of the music on here, Ron. I looked on Encyclopedia Metallica, and I don't think he ever did anything after this, but I think, you know, this is he wrote most of the music on this, and then he left the band, and the next two records, which are fantastic, is the other guitar player, so it kind of had a more kind of, I don't know, more brutal kind of style, brutal like American kind of style to it, but this one was like the one that just sounded different, had something going on unto itself, for sure. You know, really, really glad to have this. Obviously had to buy it from Europe, but these are still available, because if you try to find this on CD, you're not going to find anything very cheap. Another really cool, just kind of merge kind of pressing deal. Amazing death metal. One of the greats from the old days, for sure. So many crushers on this one. So yeah, go pick it up. Cosmic Key Creations, for sure. All right, guys. Sorry to just kind of blaze through that stuff, but God, I have so much new shit. Like, I had specifically picked all these just for this video, and it's like, God, now I'm realizing how long we're going, just trying to talk about all this stuff. But yeah, man. We got some hiking videos coming soon. You know, maybe some more nostalgia videos. Hopefully catch you guys on the live streams at some point. Thank you so much for watching.